Hey guys, this is my review for Lichdom Battlemage. So in this game you play as a mage who is trying to avenge his dead wife. And basically you just wander around this world planet thing that they've got, trying to find him and kill the other people who are helping him in his random organization cult thing that he's running. So pretty much you've got lots of different kind of powers. You've got like fire, ice, mind control, and then you have unlimited power, so you don't need to like wait to recharge anything except for your shield that's protecting you. So you can pretty much just spam any ability as much as you want, and you just keep on doing that and killing enemies. And you wander around the world, and pretty much enemies just show up like all the time, and then you have to kill them because usually it puts up like this shield wall thing that stops you from leaving the area. And then there's also other things that you can attack, like totems, which will send you to locations, and you do like wave after wave of battles. And you pretty much just keep doing that and moving along the maps. So the maps are very set paths, you can't really explore anything, it's just constantly moving in a direction, whatever it wants you for the game. Some of the maps, they do make it seem like it's open world, like there's lots of areas to explore, but if you go out too far you'll just die, so you kind of have to make sure you're always staying on the set path. So in the game, they reckon that there's like this huge customization of magical powers that give you hundreds of options on how to craft your spells and stuff, but it's not really like that. It's more like there's 5 powers, so you got lobs, which is kind of like a catapult power, and then there's missiles, which just shoots directly, and then there's rays, which is like spraying the ability, and then you've got your AoE, which is like a large explosion area sort of damage, and then you've got your specialization power, which is where you combine it with 2 powers, and then you summon it using the AoE, and it does like some humongous ass damage thing. And then when they say customization of spells, pretty much all they're talking about is the stats on your powers. It's like you could increase the critical hit chance on one of your powers, or increase the time it takes to charge it up to fire it. That's pretty much all it's talking about. There's not really that much customization in the game. So the crafting system, they have a smart menu, and the original menu before they updated the game with the smart menu because people thought the original menu was stupid because it was like really hard to work out what to do. So the default menu is basically just a list of like all the little totemy upgradey bits that you pick up in fights and from secret areas, and then you can make your own unique powers or make new powers to equip on your character using that menu. So basically you just choose like a missile attack and you add whatever stats you wanted to it for what items you've found. Whereas the smart menu just automatically comes up with a better version of whatever you're using, and then it will tell you whenever it's ready. So your powers in this game are called Sigils, and you level up your Sigils by using them more. So the more you use them, you level them up, and then when you level them up, you can increase something like attack damage by 2% or something like that. It's not a huge power boost or anything like that, but it does pay to level them up. So you don't really use all your powers in this game. You can only have 3 equipped at one time, but you probably wouldn't want to use all of them because it's better to level up like your favorite ones, because then they do more damage later on in the game, which you need, especially for like boss fights. So boss fights, I think the first one, the first hard one you come across is in the Snowland, where your powers are still quite weak, so you don't do much damage, and you have to kill this big boss guy. So that's probably the hardest boss. All the other bosses for the rest of the game seem really weak compared to him, because your powers are pretty much, once you get nearest to the end of the game, your powers are starting to become overpowered, and you can like kill everything really quickly, and you're just getting massive crits all the time with the fire power sort of thing, so it kind of like ruins it, but I mean, it's to be expected when playing a game when you get near the end that your powers are getting like overpowered, I guess you'd say. In the game, the enemies are kind of boring. You get the same ones throughout like the entire game. I think in the middle, like maybe stage 3 or 4, you get a new bad guy, which is like demons, but then you pretty much just get stuck with demons for the rest of the game. So, I mean, it gets boring after a while because you're just constantly using the same sort of powers. Like to attack, all you do is you hold down like left click button, or you can do a single left click, and then you just fire, and you just keep doing that, and you can like dodge or whatever, and you just keep on doing wave after wave of unit. And the maps are super long. Like I think in this game they have seven or eight stages, and then pretty much each stage takes about an hour to get through, and then there's usually three or four checkpoints in each stage. So you just sit there wandering through the game, like just going from wave to wave to wave, using the same sort of powers, the same attacking mode, versing the same enemies. There's not really any sort of excitement after like the first 2 hours. Pretty much, once you've done the first two maps, you've experienced the entire gameplay that's in the game, and then all you're doing after that is just following the storyline and basically just looking at all the cool layouts and maps and stuff. So probably the main thing that I loved about this game was how everything looks. Like even fighting and the graphics look really good, and all the scenery in the game looks really good. I think there were a couple times where you just like sort of just stopped and took it in because it was pretty cool. But other than that, this game was kind of boring. I think after like the third stage, I was kind of wishing the game would just end because it was just constantly being repetitive and just doing the same thing over and over. The controls are really easy though. There's not a whole lot to it. I think pretty much all you use is R for like picking stuff up, and then spacebar for dodging, and then just your mouse for attacking. That's pretty much all you need to know. There's not a whole lot to it. The storyline is pretty weak, to be honest. I mean, it's predictable for sure. You can kind of predict how enemies fight as well. It gets really predictable this game. The storyline, they have like these random mission things, and they just repeat the same missions but with different characters. So like, go to this place to kill this guy, and then you'll go there, and then they'll be like, now chase this person so you can kill them. Now go to this place so you can kill this guy. That's all you're doing for the entire game, and it just gets boring. Otherwise, they only have like maybe four. I think they do a cutscene at the end of each level actually, or every 2 levels to do a cutscene, which is like 10 seconds of footage. There's not like, it's not super amazing cutscenes. Other than that, the main storyline is if you like pick up journals and then you can read it about the story, or you listen to like these random memories from the past dragons that you are. So people who have been battle mages before, you can listen to what they've like seen or what was happening for them when they were walking through, and that's basically another part to the story that you're following along with. But it's kind of boring because you get like this little prizey upgradey thing at the end of all the different stories and the riffs or whatever they are, and then you can like listen to them, but you have to listen to the entire thing before you can like get the little like bonusy thing for having listened to it. So it gets quite boring, especially since half the time like there's not that much interesting things happening in their memories. They're just sort of like just standing there just talking about what they're going to do or whatever. So that gets quite boring quite fast. Otherwise, the music in this game's alright. I mean, it's not super amazing. It's basically just something you have playing in the background. I wouldn't like want to listen to it for too much. But I definitely say play with the music because otherwise it's just boring. The like combat sounds and stuff like that, and the sounds that units make is just absolutely boring. There's nothing really exciting about it because it's just the same enemies the whole time. So really, the first 2 stages, you're kind of getting a grasp of everything that's in the game. Otherwise, leveling up, I mean, you can grind in this game. I wouldn't say like you should bother doing it because it's not that fun playing like fighting and stuff. Replayability, there's not really any sort of replayability to the game. I didn't notice anything that would make me want to play it again because it was boring the first time. But at the end they do give you like the option to go back to certain areas, and then you can do like wave after wave battle. I think you have to kill like a certain amount of waves of people, and then you clear the area or whatever they want to call it, and pretty much you just keep on doing that. But I couldn't be bothered because I mean it wasn't fun. Like, you've already been to those areas and they've got the same exact bad guys in the areas. So, I mean, I couldn't honestly be bothered playing it all over. Like, playing through those areas again just to kill a couple waves of bad guys. But yeah, I mean, otherwise, I'd say the redeeming factor about this game is probably just the graphics and the scenery. It's probably the only thing that I really loved about this game. If it had have looked, like, ugly, I definitely would have stopped playing, because, I mean, it's not that amazing, but still. So, I'd probably only give this game a 5 out of 10, because, I mean, I did like it for a while, but, I mean, after like a quarter or halfway through the game, it just gets so boring. You got the stupid crafting system that they've came out with. I mean, from the way that they sell this game on like the store page, when I was looking at it on Steam, it makes it seem like it's this big open world game and you can make whatever sort of powers you want and combine whatever you want to make the ultimate powers, but it's not like that. It's basically just walking around left clicking at the same bad guys for ages and ages and ages. So yeah, otherwise, it's just my opinion of the game. If you don't agree with it or you do agree with it, drop what you thought of the game below this video. Otherwise, I'm only going to give it a 5 out of 10. Okay guys, see ya.